Hey everybody, it's Benita. Hope you guys having a good day. And I hope you guys are staying hydrated. It is hot everywhere. When I say hot, it's hot everywhere, okay? So you guys please stay hydrated and take care of yourselves in this heat, okay? Just real quick, I got cleared to travel, I got cleared to work out, I got cleared, it's just been a really good day. My week is starting off really good. So I wanted to share that with you. And also I wanted to give just a quick little testimony. A lot of times we don't always know why God allowed things to happen, and why sometimes when we pray for something to happen, seems like the opposite happens. Have you ever been through that? You've been praying for something and something and something, and then the total opposite of what you're praying for happens. And then that kind of leaves us a little confused, because it's like, okay, God, now I know you heard me, so why didn't you do it like I asked you to? It's kind of like, I'll use this for instance, when my daughter was dying, it was a lot of people there, and they were all praying that that she would wake up and all that kind of stuff. And so I had prayed, and God let me know that she was ready, and so I told the crowd, I said, I understand you guys are praying for her healing, you all want her to wake up, I say, but we don't know the conversations she's had with God. And so I said, you all have to pray whatever the will of God is. I said, that way you're not expecting God to do something, and then when he doesn't do it, it shakes your faith, or you get angry at him. And so one of the people sitting there, he's like, oh, you're being negative. I don't know if he didn't know I was her mother at the time or whatever, but because that was my first time seeing him. He said, you're being negative, we're not speaking negative. And I said, let me stop you. When it comes to praying, there's no such thing as speaking negative. Even if in your internal self you're praying, but you're also wondering, is God going to actually hear me? Is God going to actually do this? So I explained to them that one thing God will not do, he won't work against, number one, his own word, and then he won't work against our will. And I knew she was not going to wake up. That's not what I wanted. But I knew that's what her will was. Her will was not to be in pain anymore. So when we pray, even when we're praying for loved ones, we have to learn how to pray according to the will of God. I know it's easy to get tied up in our emotions when we're praying, because most of the time we get emotional when we're praying, because we're either praying for something, we're praying to come out of something, we're praying because we need something, we're praying for someone, we're praying for them to come out of something, we're praying for them to be healed from something, we're praying because we need to receive something. We're constantly praying for something or someone, okay? However, I had to learn how to pray, Father, let your will be done. Or, Father, if it be your will. When I started praying like that, it took a lot of frustration off of me. I was angry at God for a long time. I'm going to be honest. I was angry because I prayed for this, but this happened. And it wasn't until like down the road that I understood why he didn't work it out like I thought he was going to do, or like I told him to do. you know, because we have our minds set on how we want God to move, and then God has his plan for us already. And so a lot of times we just have to learn how to come into agreement with God and just, Lord, according to your will, you know. So most of you know, I've been living with 12 years with 2 different types of brain tumors. I have to, I have a whole team of specialists that takes care of me. When I pray, a lot of people say, well, God needs, you're going to get a miracle. The tumors are going to just disappear. That's not how God did it for me. You know, I understand that prayer. I understand that mode of thinking, particularly to those that love me. But that's not how God did it. God did it in such a way, he didn't give me a miracle. God did it in such a way, he actually made me the miracle. I'm the miracle. I'm the representation that God does indeed work miracles. He left me here in the earth so people can see that he is indeed real. You would not believe the things that my body, just my body, have gone through and come out looking like this, come out not smelling like smoke, come out not burnt by the fire. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And so sometimes we'll start praying for something, and then God lets something else happen, and then we're angry. I'll give you another, for instance, real quick. You guys know I lost my home this year, January 18th. I was praying, God, give me a financial breakthrough. Give me a financial breakthrough. I don't want to move. I don't want to lose my home. Give me a financial breakthrough. He didn't do it. And I lost my home. And we're typically considered homeless. Homeless means you don't have a home. So we're living in a hotel. And it wasn't until my daughter and I was talking, I think yesterday, when the color started to come back in my face. I have these excruciating migraines, okay? And when they hit so hard, the color, I get pale. I get pale. All around here gets like a dark red, you know, not like dark spots, because I don't have those, thank the Lord. But this gets like real red, and then my face is pale, okay? And so I asked my daughter, is my color coming back yet? You know, so we started talking, and I said, you know what? I've been asking God, why didn't he just step in, you know? And I said, and then it came to me. I said, because I was literally waiting to die. I was just waiting to die. I wasn't thinking about living. I was thinking, if I'm losing my home, then I'm gonna die. You know? And then I thought, well, I lost my home, but I ain't dead. Then another thought came to me. God had to move me out of that house, or out of that apartment, because I was literally worrying myself to death. My daughter brought that up to me. She said, Mom, you were worrying yourself to death, trying to just figure out how you gonna do this, how you gonna do that. She said, because you're so used to having everything, you know, da-da-da-da. I sat down and I thought about it. It made sense. It made perfect sense that the thing I was trying to hold on to, the thing I was asking God to help me to hold on to, was the very thing that was killing me. The very thing that was killing. And it's been, you see, January, February, March, April, May, June, 5 months. Okay, this is part 2. So it's been 5 months now since we've been living in this hotel. I had no idea how tired I was until I started sleeping. The first 2 months, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. I was almost suicidal. I'm telling you. January, February, my therapist made me see her once a week. That's how afraid she was. She said I was talking in such a way that she said she wanted to hear from me and see me once a week. And so the thing that I was praying that God would help me hold on to was the thing that was killing me. You guys know how many surgeries. I'm not talking about, oh, I broke my finger, oh, I broke my arm, oh, I broke a toe. No. I'm talking about brain surgeries. I'm talking about strokes. I'm talking about permanent brain damage. You could see on my scans areas. So my neurologist said, we can't tell how many strokes you've had now. The thing sometimes we pray to hold on to is the very thing that could be killing us. Y'all, I had no idea. I honestly had no idea, because all I knew how to do was work, hustle, work, hustle. Get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. Not considering that my body had been through so much trauma. By the time I got to the second round of brain surgeries, hemorrhaging to death, having been brought back, having been transfused over and over and over. Sometimes I don't realize. My daughter have to say, well, Mama, that was just the end of last year. Mama, that was just, for me, I don't, how can I say this? I don't always, how can I say that? I don't always see it at that moment. It's kind of like having a delayed reaction to stuff, if you will. She says, Mama, she said, I be trying to tell you, but I know how you is, and da-da-da-da-da, you get right back up, and as soon as you feel a little better, you hear that da-da-da-da. I didn't think about any of that until yesterday. 5 months into actually being homeless. Yes, I'm homeless. 5 months in, and it just hit me. God snatched me out of that situation to save my life. To save me. And the whole while, I'm here, I'm depressed, I'm during their suicidal. It's like, I've never been homeless before. And then God started saying, just look, you had a goal. He started reminding me, you had a goal. You wanted to pay your Jeep off before 2024. Y'all, I paid my Jeep off, I think December 30th, 2023. So now I'm riding around with a Jeep, looks brand new, paid for, 70,000 miles on it, title, everything. Fully insured. And so sometimes when we're praying for one thing to happen the way we expect for it to happen, it's kind of like band. I was in band. When you're in band, everything is in syncopation. And so we think prayer and we think God answers like that. If I pray for oranges, He gonna give me oranges. If I pray for apples, He's gonna give me apples. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you will pray for apples and God will send you apple seeds. Sometimes you'll pray for oranges and God will send you, orange seeds for you to plant and cultivate yourself, so that you don't just have an orange, you have what is it called? No, an apple is an orchard. What do they call oranges? A grove. You'll have all of that. You have more than what you need. And so I'm praying for a home. I have my GoFundMe set up. Benita Bradley. Go to GoFundMe.com. Type my name in. Benita Bradley. You'll see my full story. I summarized it as much as I could, but it's all there. And just remember that just because God doesn't answer the way we expect him to answer, it doesn't mean he's not listening. It doesn't mean he's not answering. Because sometimes, this is what I had to learn, and I just hope I'm sharing it with you, will help you. Sometimes we have to learn how to shift our prayers. You know what I mean? This is what I had to do. I can go all the way back to when my dad died. I remember holding on to the hospital bed, holding on to the side of his hospital bed. I remember sitting in a chair in a corner. I remember thinking, now God, you said you called me as a prophet. And I remember telling God, well, if the prophets of old could lay on a dead body and that body come to life, surely I can too. That was my thinking. But it wasn't God's will. You know? When my best girlfriend died, she told me, she said, little sister, she said, God's gonna give me that same miracle he gave you, and I'm gonna walk up out of here. She never did. She never did. Same thing 6 months later with my daughter. 2 years later, my mom. And so I'm learning, even though I've been in ministry since I was 14 years old. I'm 56 now. I'll be 57 in August. I'm still learning, basically, pray according to his will. Tell him, God, I come into agreement with your will. I accept your divine will for my life. I had to say, God, I've been angry. I was hurt by you. I felt you abandoned me. Please forgive me. And then I have to start saying, whatever your will is for me, God, that's what I'll do. That's why I make these videos. That's why I post so much. My mother told me 2 years before she died, no, a few years before she died, when I had the second stroke, and that's when they told me the tumor never acted to treatment. Instead, it grew bigger. She said, I said, why is this happening to me? That's when my mom told me that God wanted to use my life as a living testimony to the world. And so that is why I share as transparently and as openly as I do. My life is his life. My life is his. I share everything except for, personal stuff. Personal is personal. That ain't y'all business. Okay? But everything else, pray according to his will. And I promise you, I can promise you this, you'll start to feel better. And your expectations will change. And when your expectations change, you won't be so disappointed all the time. Okay? All right. Love you. Bye-bye.